the best thing is that we can come in as Switzerland. You know, we can work with, you know, McCann, or we can be with Ogilvy or anybody, and we're not a threat.
We're happy if you work with McCann.
Yeah, exactly. But ultimately, I think we have been able to afford to make this big investment in creatives and planners, and because, you know, we're a private company and can take the margin effect, and also it's helped us build our digital business tremendously, because that also took, you know, serious investment in people. And I like the idea also of having very broad swim lanes. You know, you at Weber Shandwick have done a great job of having that, but a lot of the others that are part of holding companies in PR have much narrower band. So we've gone into digital and research and all these things. So we've defined the business now as communications marketing, not just classic PR. And that's really important.
Yeah, I mean, we've been fortunate, I would say. I mean, Interpublic's been a great parent, and we've gotten the investment dollars and have scaled that type of talent as well. And I think with that, we're in a situation where we're taking share not just from traditional peer group companies, but from these other marketing services companies, because we have that type of talent in-house. So it's going to be an interesting ride these next couple of years, but my view is one of great optimism. I think that we have a tremendous opportunity.
And I say specifically relative to the ad agencies, you know, between click fraud, cord cutting, and the notion somehow that people are opting for small screen instead of big, and time shifting. And so we actually are going to have to prove the ability to sell product, not just influence and persuasion.
Do you think that's one of the biggest challenges? We often talk about measurement and analytics, right, and how important that is as our influence has increased, our budgets have increased perhaps in many instances, and so there's that greater scrutiny on ROI. Do you see that arena evolving in any particular way?
I see it in two ways. One is definitely to prove the ability to sell product, sell airline seats, whatever it is. And two, are we able to target people in the same way as an advertiser would on the basis of prior interest and prior media consumed, and make sure that they see our content? Because I actually think that most of our clients are going to have to become their own media companies. When you think that the number of people in newsrooms has dropped from 50,000 to 30,000 in local newspapers in the US in the last 7 years, 50 to 30, and it's going further. And so inherently we're going to have clients, not Apples and Samsungs and whatnot, but those that have, you know, more sort of moderate interest stories are going to have to tell their own. And so we call ours collaborative journalism. You have your own approach, but we're doing this increasingly.
Yeah, our Media operation, which I think you're familiar with, what's interesting is we were talking about talent earlier and how we're attracting folks from different marketing disciplines. Well, of course, we're also attracting some of the best and brightest from the world of journalism, whether they be from the print side or the broadcast side. And their storytelling prowess obviously is adding some luster as well to our overall proposition.
But I also think, and this would be advice I would give anybody who's coming up in the business, classic media relations, making relationships with reporters who ultimately become editors and all this is core still to the business. And anybody who says, oh, you know, it's all social is just wrong. Because the stuff that creates the greatest kind of social topspin actually is a great piece in in mainstream media. And ultimately, that's a key point.
I couldn't agree more. I think that will remain a constant. People will look back on this period with all these changes, and I think there'll be some fundamental principles that people will see as really the core and what makes for compelling campaigns and programming.